Got the Grandmaster Melly Mel up in here. Yeah, turn Mel up, son. I need that again. Now, give me that again. There you go. Can't nobody do that in raw like Melly Mel. You own that shit, son. If you ever a raw on the record, you gotta pay Melly Mel. Can't do that shit just like that.
See?
What's up, Mel?
I can't call it. It's all good. You see what I'm saying?
And introduce yourselves, please.
Me too, Dale Harrison, representing New Orleans and BK. I'm gonna be hosting the show on April 11th. Shout out to the Aquarius boys for bringing us.
All right. And the one and only.
MC Debbie D from Us Girls.
This Us Girl.
Too.
See, Debbie D is in the house, and Mr. Stephen Hager, the writer.
The original hip hop journalist.
The original hip hop journalist and writer of Beat Street.
Yeah, I got to give him a round of applause on that.
Tell me how Beat Street, well, first of all, Beat Street Reunion is here in New York City, April 11th at BB King's, right in the heart of Times Square on 42nd Street.
Yep.
Tell me how Beat Street came about.
I guess Fab Five introduced me to Bambaataa,
Okay.
and nobody knew anything about what was going on. And I was from Illinois, so I was like, "Oh wow, look at these trains! They must paint these kids to do this." Or whoever's doing that, I thought it was Walt Disney was painting the trains.
Okay.
They were so good, and so I came here to be a professional journalist, but I couldn't get anybody interested in this culture. And I was going, whoa, something's going on here, because these people are inventing their own music, their own art, their own dance, their own style of talking, walking, thinking, everything is being reinvented by these kids, and nobody cares. No, in fact, they act like it's dumb and stupid, and they wish these people would go away. And so I was like, for years, I was the only journalist in America that cared, or, eventually I tracked down Kool Herc, and eventually I did write a treatment, which I took first to Jane Fonda, and then I took it to Harry Belafonte. And then Harry, wanted to do it right away. He knew that. So I basically wrote a script that was the real deal. It had angel dust, it had, pot, it had crack, because crack really devastated the whole scene.
Right.
So it told the story, and I told it through the eyes of a young kid who was the son of one of the greatest black spades of all time, named Solsky, who had been shot dead by the police in a shootout where he was unarmed. This was at a time when it was unusual for black people to be shot by police. Now, nobody would...
When was that? 1835? The fuck out of here. We all got shot by the police.
1971.
Okay.
And really, the Bronx went into shock when that happened. It really affected Bambaataa, and I think it helped move the culture away, because at that time it was very violent up there, and people got sick of it. And
So your original Beat Street script is way different than what we saw.
oh, it's so different, but
We need to do that one that you talking about.
But I want to tell Mel exactly what the story was, because his son, his younger brother, Solsky's younger brother, survives and goes through this voyage of discovery, where at the end he matures into a man and writes the message, which elevates hip hop to a higher level.
Right.
And that message song was originally written in Super Rappin', the original record put out by
on the
Furious.
red label that I always had in my house.
So I had this dream. We were going to recreate the Hevalo. Everything was going to be as it was. The real characters were going to be there to help us do it all. We were going to, and it was real.
When did they change? Why did they change? Who changed it? Who said, fuck this script, we're going to do this little
Well,
other shit?
I'll tell you, this is a
With the
funny
graffiti
story,
writing.
because
The candy store of her.
because Harry Belafonte got surrounded by a bunch of guys from Brooklyn, and slowly what I saw happening was they were telling him, like, us Brooklyn guys, we invented hip hop.
Please.
And I had brought
Melly
Phase,
Mel invented it.
I had brought Phase 2 in, and I brought what I really wanted was a showdown between the Furious and the Cold Crush brothers, because at that time that was the ultimate
That was absolutely
ultimate
the
show
ultimate
at that time.
show. That was on tape. That's what we knew.
Everything started to fall apart. It's like Harry demanded that the Cold Crush do an audition, and they refused because they were above that. They were the biggest act, and the Furious had just broken up, and everything started changing.
Mel, how the hell you get involved in this movie, man?
On the tail end, I guess they needed a song for the movie, and then we came and talked to Harry because the son was supposed to write whatever his name. He was supposed to write the song. So I had wrote the song for him. We weren't supposed to be in the movie. I wrote the song for him, the Beach Street Breakdown, and he was supposed to do the song, but he couldn't get the words. So they had my voice, and he lip synced to my voice in the first rhyme, and then we came out at the end of the movie and did the last part. But he just couldn't, get
Everything-
Get the intricacies of the Grand
Well,
Mix.
why would you want anybody but Mel to do the rap anyway? I mean, it's like
Because they don't want to pay
as
you.
himself, and it's like,
Right.
no, that's how everything got twisted. It's like, I can't tell you. It's like, I sat down with Harry and all these people, and I said, you must have Apache. You must have Just Begun. This is the magic. You must stay true to this.
Right.
And suddenly it turns into this stuff where it's all about this kid who's got more equipment than Harry Belafonte. He's got
Right.
he's living in an apartment with like $50,000 worth of gear and stuff. And nobody had any gear until after the blackout.
You know what's crazy about this whole conversation? What's crazy about this whole conversation? Y'all pretty much tell me Beach Street was bullshit.
Hey, look, I wish I would have.
The dancing saved it because we had we had Crazy Legs and his crew. We had those kids were real. They were
Right.
still. But this is what.
But the story was not what it was supposed to be.
No, and I'll tell you something about this whole culture that people don't understand. We're talking about kids that are 13, 15 years
How old
old.
was you, Debbie D, when you got involved with the Us Girls?
When we did the movie, I think we were like 21.
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But you had been rapping a long time
Oh
before
God,
that, right?
13. Like we all kind of met at the T Connection, or the PAL or whatever, Bronx River. We were like 13, 14, 15 years old, the most.
Wow.
Now, if you look at what's happened with culture and where it all comes from, it starts in Congo Square, and there's only 500 people down there involved, and only 50 of them are actually involved in the culture, like the people that are creating the shit. And then in the 20s, you get a second wave of 13, 14, 15-year-olds led by Louis Armstrong, and then comes blues, jazz, rock
You
and roll.
going way too far back from our audience.
But I'm saying, in the Bronx, same thing. You had 500 people. Only 50 of them were contributing.
Right.
And of those, only a few, like Mel, were at the toppy top,
Mel's
inspiring people, But this is what I'm saying.
Mel's still a-
The world changed. It changed because of Congo Square. It changed because of Louis Armstrong. It changed because of South Bronx hip hop.
Hip hop changed the world.
And so
I wouldn't be sitting where
the
I'm sitting if it
kids,
wasn't for hip hop.
the kids.
Debbie D, what was you doing? How much money was the Us Girls making, if any?
We didn't really make much. As a matter of fact, the funny thing is, just coming down here in this Rockefeller Center area, when I did Beach Street, I was working in a law firm here.
Oh, wow.
That's right, and my boss wasn't gonna let me be in the movie until he spoke to Harry Belafonte and said that they had to create some contracts for us, and that's why we get paid right now.
That's nice.
30 years later.
That's nice.
Wow, and-
Residuals.
That's
As
right.
a comedian, I'm making the same thing you was making in the 80s right now.
You got to start somewhere. When we got Raheem, we made Raheem an offer he could refuse.
Hey, no, Mel, I always wanted to ask you this question. To me, you're a game changer when it comes to MCs. Like, there was a certain style of rapping that we were doing, which I call a call and response.
Right.
Before you. Before you, we were, put your hands in the air, say ho, and maybe a little bit of Superman and I had a fight, but it wasn't no real long rhymes with metaphors and similes and the things that you were doing. When did you first hear the message? Who produced the message? And why would, to you, in your opinion, we know that's one of the most impactful records in the history of all music.
Yes.
Why, to you, why is that record so impactful?
Well, the producer of the record was Miss Sylvia Robson. That actually, the message was supposed to be for Sugar Hill Gang because we had a record out by then.
Oh, wow.
They didn't want to do the record. When I first listened to the original lyrics of the record that was written by Duke Booty, his name is Ed Fletcher, but he's on the record with me, Duke
Right.
Booty. So he wrote like the main body of it. And then Miss Robinson took the Child is Born rhyme from Super Rapping and put it on the end. And that's the main, that's
So
how the
you
main
never
body.
did the record over? You never did the lyrics over?
Yeah, we did. I did what he wrote, like the beginning, broken
Yeah,
glass
yeah.
everywhere and all
Yeah.
that. I had to do that over.
Okay.
But he did like the second verse, the third verse, and the fourth verse, and then
Right.
the Child is Born is the fifth verse.
Right.
So, but
So
I,
they just took a Child is Born off Super Rapping and put it on there?
well, I
Okay.
did.
I'm like,
I
that
did.
sounds different.
Yeah, because it was better produced, and actually Miss Robinson, I mean, as far as female producers go, she's definitely the most prolific female producer. Not only did she do the message, she did Rapper's Delight, and then she did all the moment stuff, Love on a Two-Way Street,
That's
which
right.
they used on Empire State of Mind. So she's a very
And her own record.
yeah, and she has a vision, because her vision was what made hip hop what it was industry wise on record.
Right.
Because we would have never thought about, like, when we heard Rappers of Light, we thought it was the worst shit that we ever heard.
Right.
And then guys would come to, yo, y'all should do a record like that. We was like, how we gonna do some shit like that?
Right.
Like, you know, because we was rapping on a different level. You see
So
what I'm saying?
why do you feel like that record was so important as it was? It changed hip hop.
Well, you know, just when it came out, and then, you know, just the lyric, don't push me because I'm close to the edge, I'm trying not to lose my head. That's bigger than that. That's anybody can feel like that. You know, like you said, the call and response era, you know, that's if you locked in the party thing, okay, you cool with that. But if it stepped outside of that, you know, they got into social commentary, how people feel, you know, the bill collector ring my phone, scam wiping out. Like, you know, people that don't have nothing to do with hip hop, they could relate to that record. And that's what made that, and to this day, I mean, it's the most important rap record. You know, every time they do a survey, it's the #1 record.
Yeah.
And the top 500 records, it was number 51, the top 500 records ever recorded. The
Wow.
message was number 51 up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was bigger than hip hop. It was
Yeah.
pop.
It moved the genre of hip hop to another level.
Definitely.
It made it so that
Another
people
level.
can actually talk about what was really going on, in a sense, what was really going on outside of just throw your hands in the air and we're gonna party and I got a big car sitting outside and it really.
Yeah, it made hip hop mean something.
Yeah.
Before that, I mean, it was what we wanted to do. After that, it was you know, it gave us something else to do, and it you know, brought about groups, you know, the Public Enemies and,
Right.
and the KRS Ones. It brought about you know, the X Clans. It brought about a whole nother a genre of MC and a whole nother message that you could put out to the people that was other than partying.
Yeah, absolutely. And Debbie D, when you guys were starting to do your thing, when the Us Girls were coming out, how many different females were there?
Oh, it wasn't that many of us. It was not that many of us. Again, I often say, you know, myself, Shyrock and Lisa Lee, we are the matriarchs. A lot of times we don't get the credit, people don't say much about us or whatever.
Right.
But every girl that's basically on the mic after us is standing on our shoulders.
Right.
That's the truth. And we were back in the day when we were out there pushing the flyers, standing behind the rope saying, can we get on the mic? You know, passing records around and all of that kind of stuff. But it wasn't that many females around. You had the Mercedes ladies, you
Okay.
had Pebbly Pool.
Who was the main your main the battle? Who was it between Us Girls and who? Mercedes ladies?
No, because we never battled.
No?
No, we never really
There
battled.
wasn't nobody to battle.
No, you know what? We just wasn't like that. We, you know, everybody was homegirls. Everybody was doing their thing. I think the battles kind of came in that second wave.